Sir, do you know why I pulled you over?
Speeding?
No, it's because your intro sucks. Please step out onto the curbside.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Curbside Podcast, the podcast where we talk about cars and everything to do with cars. My name is Jeff. I drive a 2004 Honda S2000, and I am your Taiwanese American Southern Californian.
It's coffee time, not beer time.
That's a first.
Yeah, it's early. For us, it's early. What's up, everybody? My name is Parth. I drive a 2016 M3. I live up in Bay Area, Northern California.
And I'm Andrew. I drive a 2014 Evo 10 MR and a 2015 Subaru BRZ, and I'm tired. Down here in SoCal, but usually up in the Bay Area as well.
So the other day I was driving home, and there's this guy in our neighborhood, right? He's got a garage full of nice cars. It's like a Porsche Cayenne and an M4. But I think the kids drive it. He himself, he gets out and he gets into this Mazda 3, which he kind of makes look like a more luxurious car, like he changed the grille out. I respect that. The Mazda 3 is a pretty nice car, but only if he had gotten the new Mazda 3, because that's even more like a luxury car.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, the guy is like late 60s, early 70s or something, you know, with medical technology being what it is, whatever car he buys after would be probably his last car. He probably doesn't want a Mazda 3 to be his very last car.
What if he does?
Oh, I should go ask him.
Yeah.
Hi.
Before you die, will you die with this car in your possession?
Yeah. You look like you're about to die soon.
Are you gonna keep that shit, Bucks?
Yeah, you happy about this being your last car?
You're gonna send him into an existential crisis.
Yeah, he's gonna go buy a Lambo like literally the same afternoon.
But that got me really thinking, like, if we had to buy our last car, what would it be? If we had, in our retirement account, some magic amount of money, that whatever car you want to buy, that's the amount of money you have, but you can't buy another car. What would your final car be?
That one, right there.
What's that one?
That one. Can you guys not see me?
I can see it, but people are also listening to this.
Yeah, this is a podcast.
Well, just imagine me pointing to the poster in my room of the Enzo. Yeah,
So the Enzo, the final one.
Yeah.
Any reason why?
I don't know. That was like one of the first cars where I realized as a kid, because this came out in what, 2005? Something like that, I think, 2004? This is the first car that I realized that cars can actually cost a lot of money. And I just always, like, some people didn't like how it looks, but I always thought it looked amazing. I still think the Enzo looks better than the LaFerrari, even to today. I think it's one of the best looking Ferraris ever made. Just like, how, it was such a unique design, and it just, like, I don't know, like, a V12 mid-engine, of course, like, how can you go wrong? It's like the last time Ferrari made a very raw car. Like, in that car, the dash is, like, exposed. So, like, there's, like, holes in the dash where you can, like, look behind and see, like, piping and wiring and shit. And, like, apparently being in that car, it feels like you can feel everything. So, yeah, Enzo for sure, for me.
Nice. I appreciate that. But you're going to be up in your years. Spine hurts. Back ache.
Yeah.
Going kind of deaf. Is the Enzo right for you?
Yes. It's just accelerating the process.
You're gonna have to get one of those kits, you know, like they take the Grand Caravans and like make them wheelchair accessible.
Oh yeah,
You have to lift your Enzo and make it wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, with a ramp, coming out the side.
Yeah.
A little rack in the back for your mobility scooter.
Wheelchair.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just look at it. I'll just park it in the garage and be like, that looks good. It looks real good. Can't drive it though. It'll probably kill me.
Hey, you know what? It's like either cancer or heart heart disease or whatever the heck takes me.
Yeah.
in the
Do you want to
end.
die? Would you like go out and say, oh yeah, you know this guy, my father, he passed away from cancer. No, my father passed away because the Enzo killed him. That
Yeah.
sounds cooler.
He was dumb. He got into the Enzo. It shook his spine out of his head.
Yeah.
Now
He
he's
died.
dead.
Die from
Whoa.
a powderized spine.
That's the way to go. You know what I'm saying?
But I think for me, it's a very on the opposite end of the spectrum. A Rolls-Royce Phantom.
I knew it.
Once I'm older, I could really sit in it, appreciate the craftsmanship of everything, lay on the floor in the nice soft carpet.
You lay on the floor of your Rolls Royce.
The carpet in a Rolls-Royce is nicer than the hardwood in my house.
Oh, probably, but what, like you're old anyway. Like that's gonna be a struggle. You won't be able to get up if you lie down.
True.
Yeah, on the carpet.
I'll probably be stuck there. You
Yeah.
die in your fiery Enzo. I die stuck because
To
I
the
can't get up.
carpet on
In the
Rolls
carpet of a
Royce.
Rolls-Royce.
At that point, then you have to pay somebody to just drive you around because you can't move from there.
Yeah.
You could also buy a Rolls Royce in your young age. I mean, it also depends on how much money you make.
Yeah.
Like, would
Yeah.
you spend that 300,000-400,000 on Rolls or spend it on something else?
I'd definitely spend it on something else if I was younger.
But if you had that 300, 400, you could probably afford that and whatever else you wanted to.
True.
Yeah.
If I only had $300,000 to buy a car, that's it.
Bro, you know Enzos are like they're like almost 6-7 million now.
Yeah, I could
Makes
imagine that. So your retirement plan, Parth, has to be $6-7 million.
No, by then it has to be probably like 20
20
30
million.
million. Maybe more. Who knows? God,
Yeah,
that's
well, for
insane.
me, the Phantom like depreciates like a rock in water. So
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could probably buy one.
I could buy one for like
in a couple
$8,000.
See, the Enzo is a financial investment, not just for yourself. Actually, for yourself, probably not, because you blow that money. For your children, they'll get a financial investment.
That's true.
Their
It'll be
their
an heirloom.
children, yes, their children, that's a financial investment, and then their children. So 4 generations down the line, you'll just magically have $100 million for no reason.
Screw the children. I want to be comfortable. What would yours be, Andrew?
Mine kind of combines the two of those. You get premium luxury and extreme performance. Bugatti Chiron.
Oh shit!
I'm going out in a ball of fire at 300 miles an hour.
Hell yeah!
I don't give a fuck.
Hell yeah!
And in comfort.
I'm going
Yeah.
out in a ball of fire at 200 miles per hour with my spine destroyed. Andrew will have his spine intact, but
Yeah.
he'll be going at 300 miles per hour.
He'll be listening to like lovely, whatever the heck music is classical by then, and going 300 miles an
Baby.
hour.
Britney Spears.
Roddy Rich.
That kind of reminds me, like, I just saw a post on a page we follow on Facebook called Subtle Asian Cars. The caption was a future classic car meet. And it was like 3 old guys sitting on a sidewalk talking to each other, and there's 2 Evos. Like Evo 10 and Evo 9 in the background. It's weird to think, but that's probably what it's going to be like.
yeah.
When we think of classic, we think of the 60s cars.
Model T.
Like, that's not a 60s car.
It's a classic.
So in the future, we're going to be old grandpas driving our classic cars from our era. And it's just going to be Evos and S2Ks, M3s from the F80 M3s.
I
Damn.
can never see that as a classic car.
Right?
F80 M3. That's
Yeah, no,
so
that-
weird.
Bro, so like, going off that, right? The new generation, do you think they would ever enjoy like the Enzo or the Chiron or the Rolls Royce? I feel like these guys are all growing up in the age of like tech and automation, and like they won't understand. Like, I feel like the cars that we like right now are already classics because of these new generation buying into this new age bullshit.
I think that's up to us. We need to educate them. Because growing up, we had like Top Gear, right?
That's true.
They told us the stories of these cars, like what made them special, like there's more to cars than just looks and whatnot. When we watched them describe the cars, it piqued our interest, like, that's why I like the car, because it's cool like that. But if we're in like sort of this new era where like a lot of tech reviewers are reviewing cars because of just Tesla, and they're not really capturing that emotional side of it, then we have a group of people who's like, gets me from A to B.
But it's also
That's
like
true.
the auto manufacturers are also to blame too, because new cars, they're literally appealing to these guys. Look at BMW. They're not really doing anything new. They just keep throwing new tech. Like, I'm not talking about the performance cars, but like a regular 5 Series, a regular 3 Series, there's nothing interesting about them. Except for the fact that it has new technology inside. Like, oh my god, I can turn the volume up with my finger. Who the fuck needs that shit? But, like, people love it. They buy that shit, they sit in the car like, hey, look, I can turn the volume up. Oh.
True.
Like,
Yeah, because we've entered the age where, because we grew up in an age where the cool cars were the sporty ones.
it was the advancement of mechanical technology.
Yeah.
You know?
Right now, it's just all the cooler cars have the new tech, the self-driving, the big touch screens and whatnot. That's what makes a car cool. And unfortunately, that's what makes a car uninteresting.
That's what I worry about. It's like, I hope the other generation also starts feeling that way at some point.
That is really true. The whole thing you said about Top Gear too, like the new Top Gear with like Chris Harrison and all them, it doesn't have the reach that the original one did. The Grand Tour is over pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty much retired, just
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah. So like, what are they watching? They're watching like, fuck, I don't know.
Like MQB, didn't MQBHD do like a review of
MKBH.
what the fuck is his name, dude? MQ?
A B C D E.
MK. dude.
MK, dude. MK. What the fuck is it?
Elemental.
Marquise Brown, dude. I'll just go with his name. Marquise Brown.
No, it's Marquez Brownlee, dude.
This guy's a confusing ass fucking name. That dude. He's popular as shit, right?
Yeah.
And didn't he recently like buy a Tesla or something and he reviewed it?
His dream car from the beginning ended up being a Tesla when it came out, a Model S. And then, well, he's definitely going to get a Roadster. And he himself has a series on his YouTube channel called Autofocus, where he reviews cars. But, like, since he's a tech channel appealing to a tech audience, he points out more tech. The things that we aren't interested in about a car. That's not that important. But that's what he points out.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, because a lot of people, like, he has a ton of, obviously, he has a shit ton of viewers, right? A couple million. So, a lot of people who are the younger age, who are influenced by influencers and YouTubers, they'll watch his stuff and be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That's what I want in a car. And then look at the car YouTubers these days. I'm not going to lie to you. They're all just fucking making these dumbass videos about... This one guy pisses me off. And what pisses me off was I used to like his videos a lot. Daily Driven Exotics. Dude, he used to make some really good like car videos when he first started. He used to own a Scuderia, a Scuderia and a Lambo, I think. And he lives up in Vancouver. And he used to make these fantastic videos. Now his videos are all fucking clickbait titles about buying a LaFerrari, and then like he's calling his Corvette the La Corvette and shit, and like comparing lap times of like the Corvette versus a LaFerrari. I'm like, bro, you know, you're literally doing shit like this for clickbait. And always, whenever he gets pulled over, there's definitely a YouTube video about
I
it.
just looked it up on YouTube. The first one is, you won't believe why the police came to my house.
See? Shit like that. Like,
I blame that kind of on just media these days.
but
Right.
let me get back to the main point. The main point is like, these YouTubers aren't really like they're just getting the views. They're getting the, oh, I have a cool car, I'm gonna get views off this. That's it. Unlike, like you said, like Top Gear, where it was like, holy shit, cars can be cool because of this, because of how they make us feel, because of, you know, what we can do with them. These guys aren't doing anything. And even TJ Hunt and all this shit, he keeps buying these used fucking exotic cars, and then he's like, yeah, but you know, it'll crash. They're fucking crashed, aren't they? And then he keeps putting them back together and then making you like, look at pretty wide body kit and doing this shit. Go fuck yourself, dude. Like, you're literally just doing this shit to get views. I mean, go, that all, you know, more power to you. It's your job.
No,
more power
like,
to you.
I can't
But they're
blame
not
them for that.
That's fine. But they're not inspiring anything. They're just cool. It's like something you look at.
I think TJ Hunt kind of is, I like what he does. He doesn't just go out and like, oh, I bought this new car. Like,
Okay,
he actually turns it into a project. He films the process of it, and like he kind of shows that you can get a supercar on a budget if you are willing to
Know how to put it back together. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a Calvin.
TJ Hunt is different in that aspect, but there's just too many of these YouTubers that are they're just doing it for the coolness.
Yeah, but I can't really blame it on the YouTubers. It's because that's how they need to make their living. Because they need to have the clickbait titles, have the clickbaity content, or people don't click. And then that's what people like to watch. So that's what they need to do to keep the lights on, basically.
Yeah, but my thing is they're doing that, but none. And these, I bet you ask all these guys, they were all influenced. This is that whole generation influenced by Top Gear to go onto YouTube and do this stuff, right? They will never ever have the same impact as these guys, and obviously that's a very obvious statement. But my point is, when you watch that show, you watched it because they're showing some cool cars, but you watched it because you realize the emotions that you can get from cars.
Yeah.
And like the stuff you can do with cars and like what cars actually mean. My point is with these YouTubers and these modern day guys, they're doing it because it's cool. That's it. Like that's where it stops.
Yeah. Makes good content.
Yeah. Exactly. It's good content.
That's the thing with Top Gear. Like as Doug said, it became not just the biggest car show in the world, but the biggest show in the world.
Yeah.
Like people and their families would watch it around the TV. And that's the moment when you get people who aren't car people necessarily. Yeah. You get them driven to become car people because they realize that kind of emotion that goes into it. But, that's the benefit of having the budget of the BBC.
And then Amazon afterwards.
I will say this, though. I appreciate the work like Donut Media, TJ Hunt, all these car YouTubers are doing because at least they're.
And I want to make something clear, Jeff, before I get more people coming at my doors because they just talk shit about a bunch of YouTubers. Not all of them are bad. I have a problem with this huge trend of the specific YouTubers that profit off of I bought a car and then I'm gonna build the shit out of it. Like I bought a Lambo and I put like 1,200 horsepower into it, made a wide body kit, and I keep putting clickbait titles up about me getting pulled over. And this is no personal against anyone, right? I'm just saying what I feel, okay? You take it personally, that's on you. You have a lot more fucking subscribers and viewers and people like that. Why do you even care somebody like me has to say? So, but it's a problem because these guys aren't doing anything. They're just literally just content. That's it. Yeah. So I have a huge problem with these kind of people.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I was like, I appreciate that at least they're keeping the more interesting part of car culture alive and showing it to the world rather than check out my touchscreen.
I guess. I don't know. I don't have any respect for those kind of people.
Hard to please.
All right, with that, shall we go to our break?
Yeah.
All right, welcome to our break. As always, you can find us at thecurbsidepodcast.com. That's the link to all our stuff. And we have a YouTube channel, the Curbside Podcast. Look that up.
And go look that up, man. There's a quality YouTube right there. This guy Jeff, man, he put that shit together. It looks so nice.
I try.
He's sad because you're not subscribing.
Yeah. Make me a happy boy and subscribe, please.
So go do that. You can also go to our Instagram and our other social media. Our Instagram is at the Curbside Podcast. There you will find snippets of different episodes. You'll also find clips from other videos that we do, such as our Quarantine Chronicles and other random shit that we get into. Our Twitter is at Curbside Pod. You can hit us up there, slide in the DMs.
No.
No, we won't do that today. Yeah. Oh, you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thecurbsidepodcast.
And shoot us an email. It's thecurbsidepodcast@gmail.com if you want to reach out to us on that platform or whatever.
All right. With that, let's get back to the show. Now that we got you loose, oh, I can hear the birds waking early to say, and that is all right.
I was bracing for impact.
Anyways, the news. Big news this week I want to talk about.
Big news.
I I think the first real successor to the legendary McLaren F1. Oh, ho, 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 ho. In case you guys don't know, the McLaren F1 was built back in, when was it built? The 90s?
90s.
It was designed by the head engineer, Gordon Murray, and it was a first for a lot of things. It was the first carbon car, I think. It was the first car to have a middle driving position. It was the first car to hit whatever the top speed was, and it was the fastest car on the planet for,
Until the Bugatti showed up.
yeah, basically like
Yeah.
a decade, probably.
Yeah.
It's always been such a kind of like the highest, most worshipped car in the car community, and now today it sells for basically like $16 million per car.
Is it really that much now?
Yeah,
It hits like 20s too.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
And now, after however many years the 90s was ago, 30, I think, I don't know. I still think it's 10. Gordon Murray, the lead engineer of the F1, has designed a new car with his company, Gordon Murray Automotive, and it is called the T50.
That literally looks like an F1
Yeah.
modernized.
Yeah, literally for the
It's
2020s.
basically the F1 enhanced for the current generation. So apparently, Gordon Murray was talking to Top Gear, and there were a couple things that Gordon Murray didn't like about the original F1.
Oh, wow.
Number one, the rear spine was too wide. Interesting.
Okay.
Number two, the rear deck isn't shapely enough. The headlights suck. The air conditioning didn't work. The brakes were squeaky. Loading in luggage into the luggage compartment sucked. The fuel tank was this like kind of bag thing.
Oh, it was the diaphragms? They used
Yeah, it was a diaphragm, and every so often they would just basically rot and break, and they would have to replace them.
Oh, yeah, dude. Those fuel bags were the stupidest thing. The F40, the Euro ones had those.
Really?
Yeah, the Euro F40s had they call them bladders, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Why?
and you would have to get them changed out every so often because literally they would disintegrate because of the fuel.
Yeah. So he just thought those things were annoying about the F1, and basically with this new car, he has said he's improved on all of those and the entire car in every single way possible. So, headlining figures, it's got a Cosworth-made V12, putting out 645 horsepower, I think.
Uh-huh.
That revs to 12,100 RPM. That is motorcycle territory.
Bro, this is a Formula 1 engine.
It's genuinely a Formula 1 engine.
And the car weighs 2,174 pounds.
What?
That is lighter than a Miata.
What the fuck, dude?
And I think the big kind of like the most notable bit of the car's design basically is if you look in the rear, it has a massive basically 40 millimeter fan on the back. And that's supposed to, apparently the McLaren had this, the F1 had this. It was also a fan car. The fans were just much smaller. And on this car, he made it huge. And it apparently, Gordon Murray says it increases downforce by 50%. You could also spin it up really fast when it's braking, so it's maximum downforce. And I think it cuts like 35 feet or something off of a stop from 150 miles an hour.
Holy.
That's crazy.
And
Probably is a secret jet engine mode for extra boost.
probably. And we all know how important aerodynamics are based on what we know from the the Lamborghini Huracan, the Performante.
Yeah.
That roasted everything just because it had good aero. So this is gonna be one quick car. Gordon Murray said that he only had two goals with this car. One, to be the best engineered car ever.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And two, to be the best driving experience, bar none.
It probably will be.
Yeah. It's got a 6-speed manual
Yes.
with a clutch and
Oh
everything
my god.
connected to that engine, dude.
Wow. I'd be scared.
Dude, it would be like 5 minutes between gear changes because
Yeah.
it's 12,000 RPM.
How much is this thing?
So this thing costs around $2.1 million.
Holy shit.
They're gonna make 100 of them, and I am sorry you can't get one because they're all sold out.
This is the real successor to the F1, not the P1.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is the
for
true
sure.
successor.
Yeah.
Like, everything about it just screams, this is just a better F1.
I really wonder what McLaren is thinking.
It's
Because
like,
You bastard.
yeah, because the original car was basically his baby, and now it's just his baby number 2. Without
Yeah.
Gordon Murray, there is no true successor to the F1. But I was also thinking about this this car, and would this be the last great engine ever made? Because we have car companies going to hybrid and electric drive and whatnot, and this is the last, like, I mean, who else
12
is going to engineer a car like this? Like, Who
Yeah.
else is going to engineer an engine like this anymore?
remember what I
Yeah.
told you about? We were talking about this a few weeks ago, where I said like cars are getting too soft and like there's nothing like really crazy happening with them except for horsepower gains.
Yeah,
This car is exactly the opposite of that. This is what the
Yes.
world needed.
this is
It doesn't
exactly
have
what
that
we-
much horsepower, really. Like in
Yeah.
these
No.
in today's age, 600 what 640 you said?
645, I think.
Yeah, that's not that much, especially for a $2.1 million, basically a hypercar.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
it weighs nothing. It's a manual gearbox. It revs to 12,000 RPM. That's gonna be insanely fast and fun. Well, I want one, but I can't have one.
Yeah.
Okay, so news out of BMW. Apparently, there's reports that BMW is working on a 1,000 horsepower electric M5 with
you know,
the also have a 750 plug-in hybrid variant with a twin turbo V8.
I'm just thinking every electric car is going to be having 1,000 horsepower these days.
But an
Yeah.
M5.
The Hummer has 1,000 horsepower. Anything with an electric motor is going to have 1,000 horsepower.
Bro, in what okay, that's true. I guess a Hummer is going electric. But in what world did you see an M5 coming out as an electric car? What?
That's true. That's the big part of it. Like
That's
that's
the
the
big
big part of the
part of
story.
it.
Like, what the heck? An electric M5, but I feel like eventually it had to happen.
A
Yeah.
fully electric one.
Yeah,
If the
eventually it had
Mustang
to
can
happen.
do it, BMW
Yeah.
can do it with something too.
Bro, that's sad. Like, this is becoming
Like,
ridiculous.
we-
We need
we
more
have
Gordon
to-
Murrays in the world.
We have to accept the fact that there will be a time in our lifetime where most cars are electric, if not all.
Yeah. Like they have to compete with Tesla. Like the 5 Series is their flagship sedan, and they got to compete with Tesla on electric sedans. And
I don't want
I
to be a
wouldn't be
car
surprised
enthusiast anymore.
I wouldn't be surprised if the X5 went electric eventually.
Yeah, but I saw that shit. I was like, yeah, so they want to work. And they're also working on one, I guess, for people like me, that's a plug-in hybrid. So it's basically like a 918 M5?
It's the Prius Prime M5.
Yeah, basically. But, you know, speaking on this topic, I feel like once we get to that point, I think there will still be good, fun electric cars.
I think so too.
But, I mean, they'd be fun, but, like, what about the sound and the whole thing behind
They'll
having
have
an
new
internal
sounds.
combustion engine?
You
Like,
could
you hear-
download sounds.
Yeah. But also, case in point, fun electric stuff. We didn't talk about this, but the Mustang EV thing, they came out with some crazy 7-motor thing.
I love how we're so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
The Mustang
It-
thing. They came out with something.
Yeah, hold on. Jeffrey, shut up. Jeffrey, shut up. I know a little bit about this. The Mustang Mach-E RTR, 1,400 horsepower, big old wing, 7 motors. I think it was like motors that were
7.
like attached, like geared to other motors to like transfer all of that into like insane wheel speed.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. That
Compounded
thing.
motors on top of each other. But yeah, that thing sounds epic, dude. I think there's a place for cool electric cars.
But not all of them. Not all of them can't be electric now.
Nah, all of them are going to eventually be electric.
Bro, the
Yeah.
M5 skipped like the 6-cylinder and the 4-cylinder. They're going straight to the freaking electric, man. That's a
the
car
way it
you feel like
goes.
has to be a step down. Like V12, or not V12, V10, V8 twin turbo, smaller V8 twin turbo, maybe a
Nah.
plug-in hybrid twin turbo V8, then a 6-cylinder, then a 4-cylinder, and then maybe like 50 years from now, by the time I'm dead, they can go electric.
You
But
see,
they
that's
just
too
skipped
slow
all
now
the
that
whole
Tesla's
process.
come out.
But
Like, now that
why
Tesla's-
the M5? of all the cars. Just come out with
They
another.
gotta-
BMW comes out with new cars every 2 minutes anyway. They could have just came out with another one and then made
They
that.
gotta
electric.
make their money.
They need an electric flagship sedan
So they
to
just
compete with Tesla.
I don't like BMW anymore, dude. I don't want to be a part of this brand. I'm gonna sell my car just because I don't want to be part of the brand.
Dodge is gonna come out with an electric Hellcat, and then you're gonna have to start riding bicycles.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
literally just save my money and buy a Gordon Murray secondhand for $5 million eventually.
15, 16, 17 million dollars, dude.
I got more boring, or like slightly boring news, like I always do, but we haven't talked about this, and I feel like this is kind of exciting. Mazda 3, they're doing a turbo Mazda 3. They're not calling it a Speed 3 or anything like that, but it's going to have a 2.5 liter turbo, 250 horsepower, and all-wheel drive. So I think they're
shit.
kind of cornering.
It's a STI.
Yeah, they're cornering a market that kind of doesn't exist anymore. STIs don't even have hatchbacks anymore.
Yeah, no. So the RS is gone.
Yep.
The STI hatch is gone.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Mazda was like, "That's a dying market. I like that. Let's put our car in there."
Yeah.
They may be more in tune with the real car enthusiasts than everybody else, though.
The thing that I'm reading here on AutoWeek.com, it's going to be expensive as hell.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you can option these up to like almost $40,000.
Yeah, that's kind of the annoying
Yeah.
thing, right? Like, most enthusiast cars are expensive these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And
let's
then
be
they don't
honest,
sell, and then they stop making them. And
Yeah.
okay.
they're expensive, and then enthusiasts can't afford them, and it's like, well, no one wants to buy them.
And then the company's
That
like,
means there's
"What?
no
I don't know
market
why
for them."
nobody wanted to buy them."
Yeah.
Acura's still scratching their head. Why did anyone want to buy the new NSX? I have no idea. I mean, it was only $200,000.
Manufacturers have to understand car enthusiasts are the type of people to buy beater Honda Civics
Yeah.
because it's
We
a
broke
cheap,
as shit.
fun project. Yeah.
News out of America again. More
The way you-
American news.
The way you put that is funny. News out of America.
Cadillac.
Donald Trump.
Oh, God. No.
So Cadillac has released or revealed their Cadillac Lyric show car. Apparently, it's a show car. It's supposed to be basically their all-electric SUV.
Yeah, what the fucking bullshit electric.
You got to get with the program sooner or
Yeah,
later.
Dude,
like,
no.
this is the future, Parth. But, anyways, what do you guys think of the looks?
Looks good. Is this a concept or something, or what?
I think it looks pretty good. I don't know, okay? I have really no clue because this is supposed to be basically their all-electric whatever, but...
What's a show car?
It says
For
it's
me, it seems
not
like
a
something you take-
production vehicle, and it's coming out in 2022, which is basically 2 years out at this point. I expect the production version to be toned down a bit than this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
at this rate, like, you can't be making a concept electric vehicle right now if you want to catch up in the game. It's got to be real right now.
Yeah, this is pointless. And I was reading an article about this. I forgot where, but it was like Cadillac released this 2 years too early.
Yeah, basically.
When it's about to come out, show it, sell it.
Yeah, you release it now, it's becomes old news 2 years later, and then it comes out and it's like, oh look, the design has been dated because I've seen it 2 years ago. Like, either release this now or don't show it to us now.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna almost have to scrap this and come up with something new.
This should have been, here is the production vehicle. This is what it looks like. Then
On
probably-
sale next fall.
right? In a couple months. I mean, if it released now, I think it would do good. It
Yeah, I
looks
think so,
good.
too.
It looks modern, but not wacky. It's got good range, everything. Cadillac, what are you doing? Just release it now.
Just when we thought American car companies were picking shit up.
And that's going to be our show for this week. As always, thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thecurbsidepodcast.com. You'll find links to all our social medias there, our YouTube channel, and our Libsyn page, which will lead you to all our other platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn.
You can also, again, find us on social media, on Instagram at The Curbside Podcast, Twitter at Curbside Pod, Facebook at facebook.com/The Curbside Podcast. Hit us up. with questions, any topics you want us to talk about, or just if you want to chat and talk about cars.
And thank you to Kid Dope for the intro and outro to our show, Fast Cars and Wild Hearts.
And as always, my name's Jeff.
I'm Parth.
I'm Andrew.
Remember, drive safe, and life is too short to drive boring cars.